He is, of course, a former UFC welterweight title contender, now making his moves in the boxing ring, taking on Darren Stewart, headlining Misfits Boxing coming up on May 16th. It is always my great pleasure to speak to Darren Till. Darren, how are you?
I'm not so bad. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. Thank you for taking time for me as always. I appreciate it. I know been kind of a rocky road here. You're going to fight in March, you end up fighting in May. So how has the training and just like kind of staying ready? Because you had kind of a rocky road here.
I mean, to be totally honest with you, I've had a rocky road since I got into boxing. It's been 2 years now since I've been at my boxing gym, and I was meant to fight Julio Cesar Chavez. That fell through. I was meant to fight Tommy. Tommy pulled out. I was meant to fight, obviously, in March. That didn't happen. So now, obviously, I'm ready for May. I'm, 2 weeks away. We'll see what happens. Uh, I've just stayed consistent in the gym, to be totally honest with you. Obviously, when I say consistent, I don't mean I'm in there every day, day and night. For 2 years, I've tried to evolve my boxing to a level of how the pros are. Like, I'm in there with world champions. Our gym's a very renowned gym in England for being high level pro. So, yeah, I've just stayed in, and obviously, fights keep falling through, and I just keep getting left with nothing.
You kind of took the words out of my mouth because I was gonna say like you had the Chavez fight, which was a big deal, and the Tyson card, and that kind of falls apart. Then you get Tommy Fury, which is a big deal, and he backs out of the fight. I mean, were you like when you got to Darren Stewart? Was it just kind of like give me somebody at that point? Was that kind of the idea?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been of the thing, like, even when I was in the UFC, like, I've never picked fights or thought, like, oh, this is the easy road, like, even when I moved up to middleweight for when I got knocked out by Masvidal, I was like that today, and I was like, Kelvin Gastelum had just had a war with Adesanya, I was like, give me that guy. They were like, are you sure? I was like, give me that fucking guy. So, like, I'm not really asked. I go in the gym every time to spar. I spar as I want to have straighteners. I want to have wars in the gym. And I just want to fight anyone in this boxing. I don't like. I really couldn't care less who it was in the boxing. I have no care. I spar massive heavy. I spar like heavyweights. I just. It's not a. Oops, sorry, my
That's
phone.
all right.
Sorry about that. People
All
ringing
right.
me. I'm an important guy. No, I'm not. No one gives a fuck when you're not in the UFC. You don't get no calls. Yeah, so that's basically the story.
Yeah. So now, with that being said, like obviously you've been working towards this boxing career, and then you go out and get Anthony Taylor, who to that point had been super impressive. He had a lot of good wins on his record, and you just absolutely demolished him. Do you feel like you have kind of set the tone for people to say, "Well, how's Darren going to do as a boxer?" Because Anthony actually had a lot of experience. You went out there and beat him pretty good, and I think
Right.
that kind of set the tone for what you're going to do in boxing. So have you enjoyed this transition?
Yeah, I don't think. I'd like to think as well that people haven't got short memories for me when it comes to stand-up striking, boxing, all that stuff. Because every time I was in a striking match in the UFC, apart from Masvidal, no one could really beat me. Like, Whittaker didn't beat me on the feet, no way. Stephen Thompson didn't beat me on the feet. Cowboy didn't. Gastelum didn't. Derek Brunson didn't, even though he beat me. DDP didn't. My losses have always come the way of grappling. I'm a little bit lower level than that, even though I'm not. Like, I've always had, I know I bang on about, I've always been severely, no knees, they call me, but striking's my forte. Like, if you're gonna strike with me, you gotta be good. I don't care if you're a boxer or what. Like, even many boxers come in the gym, go pros, and they don't beat me up. It never happens. So, obviously Andy Taylor was doing good, but he's not me. He's not. He's a good boxer, but he ain't me, mate. Like, he's not me. Like, I'm telling you all. Like, Tommy Fury's and Jake Paul's. I swear to God, like, when them fights come around, I'm not looking past Darren in any way, shape, or form. But when them fights come around, you're gonna see the job I'm gonna do on them all. Like, I'm gonna do a demolition job on every last one of them, and I think they know that because I'm the same size and I'm young, and I'm gonna do a demolition job on everyone in this boxing, and hopefully go back to MMA. That's me long term goal plan.
Yeah. Let me ask you about Darren because, Darren's been around. We know him very well from the UFC, but I think going into a fight like this, like you're heavily favored, Darren. Like I think most people are going to look at you and say, we believe you're going to win. Does that, I imagine that, that forces, I don't say it forces you, but like you want to go out there and kind of prove people right. Because before it seems like people may be doubting you. Now it's like, oh, we think Darren's going to win this fight. Nothing against Darren Stewart. We know what you're capable of and obviously
Yeah,
getting and debuting. So is there any part it's like, I need to go out and dust this guy off? He can't look good in there against me.
yeah. Do you know what? I fully see what you're saying, and obviously, what. I just passed all that. Like, I'm just gonna go out and perform and do what I know to do best. So, obviously, I'm not going out there to do anything other than win. But I'm just gonna go out there and just show what I know. and I'm gonna put on a good fight. I'm gonna come to win, come to knock out, and that's it. Like, but yeah, expected to win. I love that, you know, and the fans on my side love that. So yeah, just listen. I just want to keep winning. I just want to keep being me. Never change, no matter what. And let's see, this box. I hope this boxing's gonna take me good places. You know, I think it will. Excuse me.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you because listen, I don't want to seem in any way, shape, or form like I'm disrespecting Darren Stewart. That's the guy in front of you. You got 2 weeks to go till you fight him. But I think we're all looking at you and saying like there are huge fights for you on the horizon. I mean, I think that Tommy Fury fight was perfect. Of course, we all know what happened there. The Chavez fight, you're going to fight Chavez now. Chavez is fighting Jake Paul. Like in your head, is that the direction you want to go though? Because I'm certainly not nothing against Darren Stewart. He's a good name, but I imagine in your head you're like you want the Jake Pauls of the world, you wanted the Tommy Fury of the world, but we know how that one wins.
Yeah, the Tommy Fury thing is just a mad thing. Like, I swear to God, like he, I, I'm still like flabbergasted by it all. And now he's fighting in Budapest, and I just think, look, I don't hate Tommy Fury. I don't even hate his father. I just think he got a little bit rattled that someone was in front of them for one time saying, I don't give a fuck who yous are. I will paste every last one of yous here now. Excuse me, I'm extremely sorry.
No worries.
Uh, yeah, so like, I think that was that. And then obviously, as you said, like with this, all the other stuff, it's been, it's very confusing.
Can I ask your opinion? What do you make of Jake Paul fighting Chavez? Because listen, Chavez is I'm not going to sit here and say Chavez is a bad boxer by any stretch of the imagination, but where Jake Paul keeps telling us like I want to be a champion, I want to be a champion. I don't know that like that's necessarily the step he's taken, but I don't know. You tell me you were going to fight Chavez. Like how competitive do you think that fight's going to be?
Do you know what? Can I tell you the truth? I don't know. Chavez should beat him, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. Jake just keeps winning. So is Jake really that good? Like, we all keep saying he's shit. Let's just, for starters, let's just all stop being dummies for a sec, right? And take out the narrative that Jake Paul's not a fighter or boxer. He's been boxing for years now. He's been boxing for years with a fully equipped team around him 24/7. Jake Paul is a fighter. He's a boxer. He's a fighter. Like, okay, yeah, he's lacking in this and that. Does he like getting it? Maybe whatever, whatever. But like, he's a fucking fighter. So like, this narrative needs to go away, and all these people need to stop. Like, look, I get it. You fight Jake Paul, you get a lot of money, but you know, you're just begging it. Like, everyone's just begging for this fight. Like, I've said, yeah, I'd love to fight Jake, but like, I'm not begging it. Jake doesn't want to fight me, sound, mate. Like, I'm good. Trust me, I'm all right. Love to fight him, love to make a bit of money, yet, sound, but like, I'm not that arsed. I don't lose sleep. All these guys are begging for it, sound, whatever. But he's fucking winning. So what you want? I can't even give an opinion. Chavez should probably win, but I don't know. Jake's gonna win, isn't he? I don't know. I don't know. Is there something going on in the background that we all don't know about? Do you
Yeah.
know what I
Well,
mean?
you've built your career down and you've been obviously a good name for yourself to where like you can go in a lot of these fights as the A side. Not to say that you wouldn't fight Jake Paul, but like you don't necessarily need that. Like again, like this fight with Darren Stewart, you're the A side, but you're going to sell the fight because you're Darren Till. So I don't see you as like begging for Jake Paul, but I know you would take the Jake Paul fight.
Oh, I, I just say things out the art. I'm probably a bit autistic. Everything's very black and white with me. Like, if I'm fighting Jake Paul, I'm not gonna sit there and have a cock off like, who's got more money? Jake Paul's got more money than me. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I'm the A side. Jake Paul's the A side. He wins in every department. The only department I know I win is in the fight. So I'm all right with that. That's sad. If he wants to sit there and say whatever, like with all these other guys, they bite to it, and he's like, if Jake Paul sat there with me and was like, I want to make a bet, I'd be like, Jake, I'm going to stop you there, my friend. I can't make bets with you because I don't have the money you have. So take your bet, take your money, and shove it up your ass. Yeah. Like, I'm a realist. Like, I'm not going to sit there. It's like me sitting there with Conor McGregor and having a cock off with him who's got the most money. I'm not really asked who's got more money. I'll just punch all your heads in. How about that? Like, how about that? But like, this game's mental. People just are so fucking fake. Every manager and promoter in boxing and MMA is just so fucking fake and so deluded and all that. Jake Paul's the A side. Love to fight him. Would love for that fight. But if I don't get that fight, so fucking what? I'm not really that arsed, to be honest with you.
I hate to do this to you, Darren, but I'd be a bad journalist if I didn't ask the question because I know you probably get sick of hearing this. But what about Mike Perry? Is the Mike Perry thing ever going to happen?
I don't know, mate. Like, I think we do both want to fight each other. But I don't know. His manager's having a little cock off with me at the moment, Malky. So, Malky, sort your shit out, mate. You little crab. And then, yeah, so I'd love it for it to happen. I think it's going to happen at some point because we're both there all the time. So, yeah, he's got his promotion. They offered me some money to fight. It was good money, to be fair, but, you know, it wasn't probably enough. I don't know. I'd love to fight him by towards the end of this year. We can make it happen. We've got to get the weight right and stuff like that because I am the bigger guy. He knows that when, you know, he likes to talk. I've never really talked about our sparring, but he likes to talk about sparring. I punched him from pillar to post. What's he on about? But yeah, I'd love to fight him. I really would. And he's a good guy. He's a family man. He's made a lot of money. You know, I'm not a hater, mate. You know, I'm happy for the guy.
But boxing, bare knuckle, anything? Like, is it just whatever? Whatever's going to pay the most?
I
Or
wouldn't look. I'm 32. I'm half a good looking person. Like, I'm good looking. You know, I wouldn't like to do the bare knuckle, not because I'm scared, mate. I've had many a fist fights. Like, my nose is scarred from the other month. I had a fight in Liverpool on the street, which was a very unnecessary fight. Like, it wasn't me that caused it, but I was just in the middle of it. Like, I'm not really too arsed about bare knuckle, but I just don't want my face getting smashed up. But if we have a fight in boxing, when I knock him out in boxing, obviously I'll knock him out. We do it in the bare knuckle, you know, just don't want my face getting smashed. I'm gonna have to be good with the defense work.
yeah. Now you mentioned it already. Before we get out of here, I just want to ask you because you said earlier, like obviously you've been focused on this boxing thing. The long term goal though is still to eventually return to MMA. That is still the long term goal.
Yeah, look, it is. It really is. Now, look, I've trained a long time, like, and I've really. I know there's this stigma out there about me, and I'm joking that, but I train fucking hard. I did when in my MMA days. I did. I probably overtrained. A lot of people that have been along me, Tom Aspinall knows how I overtrained. If anyone ever asks me, he'll say Till overtrained. Like, so it just depends if the fire's not there like it used to be. No, and especially, you know, outside of fighting, you know, it's not like I'm doing too bad myself. I've set businesses up. I've become a little bit of an entrepreneur myself. Like, I've got one of my companies that is was on the canvas in a partnership with the UFC. You know, block asset, block bet. So, you know, it just depends all about the fire and stuff. But I think it will be there because I do want to go back. So we see. We see. Look, we see.
You can't escape it. Anytime you talk about MMA, people are like, so when you going back to the UFC? People still talk about it, so
It's
obviously you got
mad.
to there.
Look, listen, I want to tell you one thing. I'm not really an out there guy. I don't attend shows. I'm very quiet. I'm like, people don't get it. I'm fucking very quiet, mate. I'd rather just stay in the house like I am. I get bad social anxiety, but I don't know, man. People still stop me every fucking day today, every day. Just, when are you going back to? I'm like, and I sort of question myself. I'm like, did I have that much of an impact when I was in MMA? Because I didn't realize I did, but I must have because people still fucking love me. So I'm like, I think sometimes I just knock myself down because I had a few losses and stuff like that. But I shouldn't be too hard on myself. I don't know. This isn't a
Yeah.
therapy session, like.
No, no, no. I mean, like I said, you absolutely made
Oh,
an
of
impact.
course.
Like I said, yeah, you absolutely made an impact. So I think
Yeah.
that says a
So
lot.
it's good. You know, I was the first guy to bring the UFC to Liverpool. Now Paddy's obviously going to hopefully go on to win a title. So, you know, maybe I did have a big impact. You know, yeah, maybe I did.
Last thing I got to ask: Liverpool fight, street fight. You did win, right? Like you did win the street fight. I'm just making sure.
There was a few of them. I had a good go. No one knocked me out or anything like that, but I flatlined a few. It was a bit, it was a bit chaotic. But I didn't get beat, but I done over one. There was a few of them. We had a good go, and then the next day I was like, why you just hit me? And they were like, well, you start. It was all fun and games.
Hey, as long as you win, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, yeah. I had a good go. There's a few of them.
I love it. I love it. Well, Darren, thank you so much for taking the time, and obviously have a great rest of your training camp. See
Yeah,
you back here in a
you do.
couple weeks. Thank you so much for
Appreciate
taking the
that.
time, and I
Thank you,
appreciate
mate.
it.
See you later. Ta-ra.
All right, bye bye.